Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting podcast. It's Thursday, the 25th. A loaded baseball. We got a lot of games today to go over, me and Chip Chirimbes. All one of them for the night action. One night game, Chip. We'll get to that. Braves and Mets in a second. But before we get to that, here you go. You're on the YouTube channel. Thumbs up. Let's get it done. 5-1 run with the free pick videos here this week. Not too shabby with MLB. Hopefully we had another feather in our cap today with this Mets-Braves game. Again, these are our free picks here at the YouTube channel. You want our best bets, our premium action. Put that notification bell on so you know we do these free pick videos. And then head on over to gamblersworld.net for all of our top plays. 3, 7, 38 packages guaranteed. Show you a profit or we credit you back over that time. And it's good. Listen, a lot of baseball. There's WNBA. There's CFL. A weekly package might be good for you. Maybe a daily package. That's fine as well, depending on what you like to bet on. We got a leaderboard. You see how everybody's doing. And that is that. And right around the corner, Chip, we're a month away from the Hall of Fame game, believe it or not.
I know.
I mean, that's – I kind of liked it when it was like on the first couple of days of August. Now it's the end of July. Time flies for sure. They say that when you have kids. It definitely seems so when you're betting on sports because the calendar is turning. NBA draft last night, Hall of Fame game coming up, but Major League Baseball today. Before I get to that, though, it's been a couple days. What kind of run you been on? What do you got going on, fella?
Well, I'm going to have to mention this to you. WNBA has been outrageous. It is basketball, and there's numbers on it. 20-7, laid 19 points last night. And, so that's one of the differences in the disparity between some teams is so great that laying double digits in the NBA is usually not a very profitable thing. But here, it just seems to be able to override the large numbers because some of these teams are that weak, and we're just taking advantage of it. But Major League Baseball, trotting along once again, had my first loss in 4 days yesterday, extra inning game, and we're just sitting there. I have one game up there today. We have only one night game, right, Sean? So that's the game I posted. It just seems like these early day games, you don't know who's looking to get out of town. I mean, it's a getaway day, and they're playing day games, and sometimes there's alternative lineups, and so it's hard to decipher the early winners. So we'll stick with the late game between Atlanta and the Mets.
I see it's crawling across here. 22-4 run in WNBA. Is that correct?
Am I? Well, I know I was. Well, 22-4. That's not bad at all, I guess.
81%. I guess that's okay. I don't know.
I'm only posting one a day, and it's working because I'm just taking, the one single game I like the best. I'm not trying to make packages out of them. Just put out any play each and every day.
Listen, I'm on that kind of run in baseball right now. I think I'm on a 12-2 run or something along those lines. That's and again, great. It's like I had a 2-pack. I had 2 games yesterday, but I didn't put a package up. I'm like, 2 games. How do you break that down? I want to do 2 separate packs. I got 1 game up for today because I don't really love the card, and it is a day game, one of the rare ones. But we also see rain in the forecast for a couple teams. Maybe a couple delays, maybe a total rain on game. I'm with you. If you find one and stick it, you're on a good run, right? We're kind of creatures of habit. We're in a groove. We're going to kind of stay with that and keep our things going until the bubble bursts.
I know you're on vacation, but for you, posting 1 game a day is like on a vacation, isn't it?
Yes.
You're not writing synopsis of 20 games now, so enjoy your time. Enjoy your time at the beach.
But sometimes when you look at the lines, it's automatic for me. I just ignore them. I can't get into huge lines. And again, will I leave money on the table there and not doing a run line or laying a 160 at times? Possibly, but I just can't. If I wasn't doing it in April and I had, say, I left 10 wins out there, I can't do it now, and all of a sudden that game loses and it doesn't off. You know what I'm saying? I can't change mid-course, especially when you're laying favorites. You can't. If you weren't taking them early, I can't take them late like that.
And Sean, there's such a gap between the haves and the have-nots. The lines on some of these games in baseball are just so outrageous. I actually used the run line the first time this year, and it was a winner with Atlanta when over the Mets. We had on, I think it was Monday, we had talked about it.
Yep.
And on the show, we had played the game, but first time I used a run line and it worked out. So maybe I'll be seeing a little more of that. because otherwise I just can't get involved in laying 2-1 favorites. I can't get involved in laying 260. I mean, why would
Yeah.
anyone want our opinion when it's so obvious that that team's that much better? They can play that without us.
Yep. I see when shows have that on there and you're taking favor. Well, we're gonna go out and give the Dodgers today. Oh, really? You're taking a 280 favorite? How do you turn into a free pick show where it's guys giving out or gals giving out 2-1s or more?
Yeah.
We're gonna lay 190. I don't get that. I can't. You don't need to tune into a channel for somebody to tell you to take the. Oh, the Yanks playing the Rockies. Let's take the Yankees. Oh, the Dodgers today 3-1. You really need me to tell you the Dodgers could probably win today? I don't even know what the line is. I wouldn't even open it up. I'm not. That's a pass.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just ignore those games and push them aside.
You don't. I mean, my kids could pick that. My daughter will be like, "Oh, the Chiefs are playing today. I like the Chiefs. Oh, really? They're 13-point favorites. I'm shocked that you like Kansas City today. I mean, that's the kind of nonsense. I don't know. That's you don't need to tune into a show. We try to kind of now. We do give free picks out here, and some of the games do have bigger lines. Again, that's on a Sunday night. I know what the lines are going to be. I don't know what the pitching matchups are going to be. I kind of could think, but things change, and all of a sudden, we had a couple games yesterday where, or this week when I was doing with Matt, we had the Astros laying like a 150 against the Phillies, and then the Phillies yesterday laying a 150 on the road versus Houston. Like those are decent sized numbers for good teams, a pair of good teams. They're in first place, those teams.
I find that 150 number very, very difficult. I think it's a large number to lay, and I mean, you got to win 2 out of 3 of those just to be even. So,
at least today here we got a little fair matchup. The Mets are 115 faves. Braves are, and here we go. This is new baseball here. So instead of being plus 100, no, Atlanta will be minus 105 there because the books are making it that much harder for you to turn profits here on teams. But basically, a pick them both ways here. Total 8.5. Holmes and Canning. I'm going to start with Holmes here with this cat. Former first rounder for the Dodgers. Yo-yo between the bullpen, star rotation. So-so to bad numbers in the minors. Came up, had a decent year with the Braves. This year's numbers looks okay. You look at his numbers, like, all right, not too bad. Competitive. Yeah. They are 6-9 in his starts. The Braves have owned the Mets series-wide lately.
Yeah.
But, Mets pulled one out last night here. I look at his as a starter, Canning here. The fact that the Angels let this cat go, Angels have no pitching. They let a guy go who, all right, he has a high 4, maybe a 5 ERA, but he pitches 20-something games. Like in a league of where the Dodgers roll out with a $300 million payroll to be determined and just shuttling guys, the fact that the Angels freely let a 25-plus starter a year go kind of is suspect to me here. But the Mets do what they did with like Manaea to come in here. He's had a great season so far. He's got a 3 ERA. You think wow, look at this. They're 11-4 in his start, Chip, but his last 3 starts, maybe the kicking the can down the road here, so to speak. I'm trying to find a fun.
He has regressed a little bit of late for sure.
14 innings, 13 hits. 14 innings, 13 runs, 17 hits. His last 3 games. I want to lean towards an over in this one. This is where I'd be here. I'm going to say what my free pick on this would be because, again, just the one game here we're talking about. I'm going to go, and it's kind of like a contrarian one for me because the Braves are 42-31 to the under on the year, 45-33 to the under for the Mets. We saw a couple of low-scoring games here already. I'm going to go over the 8.5, though, based on both of these pitchers. I think they can get hit. There's enough power. You got Azuna for the Braves. Acuna's back. You got – you have hitters in that lineup who have been so-so this year, as you see by their over-under record for the year. Same with the Mets, Lindor, Alonso, Soto, although Soto's been on a tear lately. I'm going over 8.5.
I can see that, absolutely. Today, actually, and by the end of this weekend, everyone is at the halfway point. I know everyone likes to consider the All-Star game, but the Mets have played 81 games. They're 13 games over 500, and they're at a minus 30 if you bet them every time out. Atlanta, who's been horrid, 5 games under 500, is minus almost 1,700, 1,670. Atlanta has owned the Mets back from the Larry Jones day. So when Chipper Jones was hitting home runs all over the place, the Mets just couldn't compete with this team, and they still can't. Yesterday, 7-3 win. Soto hits 2 home runs. First win in 7 games against the Braves, and they've only won 2 of the last 10. So the beat goes on with that. And the fact that this game's a pick 'em in New York sort of raises my eyebrow with, like you said, Griffin Canning is 7-3. But Sean, this is his 7th year in the major league. 7 is the most wins he's ever had with the Angels, and that was 1 season. He is pitching better than he has at any time in his career right now, because his ERA, like you said, was up around 5 for his career. Grant Holmes, both these pitchers are 29. Grant Holmes, we're going to see what happens with him, but he's pitched 85 innings, and you know this stat I always comes with, Sean. He's only given up 65 hits. His weak point, Sean, 14 of those 65 hits have left the yard.
Yep.
He's given up a lot of home runs. 5 years at the Angels. In other words, Griffin Canning has been regressing and giving up a lot of runs, like you said. I think this game goes over the total as well. I really do. Atlanta's won 15 out of 42 on the road, and the Mets have been 70% at home, 28-12, and this line's still only a pick 'em virtually, $1.10.
Yep.
So I'm really suspect about the game, and I'd play it over. And you said 8.5, and I think that's the number they're going to get to, especially with Soto being as hot as he is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit 224 for the first 65 games. Now he's on fire. So, that's the only night game tonight. And I think Mets Braves is kind of an interesting matchup in the fact that it's a pick 'em.
Over 8.5 is the play here from both of us. Now, it'll only count as 1 win tonight. I'm not going to count this as 2 wins because 2 of us are agreeing on a game.
Yeah.
1 game, 1 win, over 8.5. And getting back to Canning, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, he's 7-3 this year. Came up in 2019, 5-6 in 17 starts, 2-3 in 11 starts, 5-4 in 13 starts, 7-8 in 22 starts, 6-13, 31 starts, and here we go, 15 starts, 7-3. Wow.
Yeah, sometimes
we're high in wins.
He can mature into the position, I guess.
2nd round pick, 47th overall out of UCLA here, it's telling me. But we think he's getting hit today here. The regression the last 3 games, again, 14 innings, 13 runs, 17 hits. You're not going to get out of many jams allowing every guy you put on base to come around and score in every inning you pitch. So over 8.5 for me and Chip Chirimbes again as the free pick here on the video. 5-1 run with the free picks. These are the free picks. Best bets, as mentioned, gamblersworld.net. I got a little moneymaker up. Chip's got a premium side apparently today in this game. So Go get it. Go get the premium action here. And it's not just the 2 of us. We have other cappers. You know that. We got our guy Doug Upstone, Matt Fargo, Paul Bovey. Who else? Kyle Hunter, Kevin Thomas. Pretty soon, Mark Lawrence will be back with some football. We got a lot of guys. Use the leaderboard to see how everybody's doing there. Now, Chip, this day in sports, it's got to be a little more than what's going on today.
Well, we're talking about June 26th. This date, there are many events, and some of them will be celebrating the anniversary of the Cleveland Indians in 1916, putting numbers on their uniform and corresponding to the scoreboard. It's the first time it had been done in the American League. And that was in 1916. Otherwise, they had no numbers on their uniforms or names that we can even say. On this date, 1970, Frank Robinson hit 2 grand slams in the same game. And, Sean, Frank Robinson, when he first started playing, now we know he ended up being a manager, a Hall of Fame player. He was actually considered a thug. He had been arrested for carrying weapons. He had carried a gun into a locker room, and he had to be suspended at one time. But he straightened his career out, obviously. And in 1971, there was a player who didn't straighten his career out. He won the batting title. His name was Alex Johnson. He beat Rod Carew out by 4 10,000ths of a point to win the batting average, believe it or not, in 1971. But he was suspended for the first time after being benched by the LA Angels 5 different times and being fined 29 times. And Alex Johnson is, I guess, the forerunner before, who was it, Steve Howell? He got suspended every other week. 1976 in Texas, one of your guys, Toby Hurrah, played a doubleheader at shortstop. Sean never had a ball hit to him either game. Ground ball, pop up, no assists, no putouts.
At shortstop?
at shortstop. Imagine that. And
Hold on,
that,
I gotta stop you for a second. And normally I went to the end. Is it Toby Hurrah or Toby Hara?
I don't, I always call it Hara myself, but
Hurrah!
it could be Toby Hurrah. And okay, now in this game, I was watching this game on TV back in New York, 1987. I bet Roger Clemens against the Yankees. Red Sox score 4 in the first, 5 in the seconds. I've got Clemens. Now, who's Roger Clemens? He's no bum, right? 9-0 lead. The Yankees score 11 runs in the third inning and win the game 12-11 in extra innings. The Red Sox actually came back and tied that game. In 2003, there was a high schooler from St. Vincent, St. Mary's, Akron, Ohio, that was drafted number 1. You might remember him. That's LeBron James. And he was the number 1 pick there. And that's all I can say about that is that for this date, it's a date, of celebration for LeBron and maybe for us after all the results come in tonight.
Well, yes, we definitely need a day of celebration after we win our free pick and our premium action.
Right.
For sure. We're on nice. Things are going good. They're going to stay good. That's how it's been going for us here.
Right.
And I got to go look at that box score for 87. I know the 87 was a little jumpy ball there, so I'm dying to see how.
I went to it in that game. Mattingly had 4 hits in the Red Sox Yankee game. Jim Rice hit a grand slam.
What about Mike Greenwell?
Who was he playing for? No, he wasn't. I don't think he was in the game at the time.
No, Greenwell 87. No,
I'm not sure. I checked the lineup last night actually, and Dave Winfield hit a grand slam, had 4 RBIs in this game. And I'm dying, Sean. I'm dying. I'm sitting. I'm trying
to pitch for the Yanks.
Composed. Tommy John started, went 1/3 of an inning, gave up 1 1/3, gave up 8 runs.
Unbelievable. What a waste of those 84, 85, 6 Yanks. They were good teams, but couldn't get over the hump. And then you had talk about a Subway Series. Could have been possible back then, 84, 85, 86 with the Yanks and Mets. They were good teams.
We know what the Mets did in 86, and then in 87 they lost in the playoffs to the Dodgers. But the Yankees then were the Mets have always been treated like a redheaded stepchild in New York. The Yankees are it. And even when the Mets are winning, maybe it's 50-50 in the city. Otherwise, it's about 75% Yankees.
The good old days. All right. Again, free pick over 8.5. Over 8.5. And there you go for the MLB. But Chip.
Yeah.
It's time. I'm gonna pull out here. We're gonna say goodbye. And I'm saying goodbye because I'm gonna let you take it away with some WNBA.
The WNBA, a lot of people are shunning it or don't respect it because of maybe the level of play. But there's a line on it. And there is a winner every day. And fortunately for A plays and Chip Chirimbes backers, they've been winning at over 70% clip. Now, tonight in WNBA action, Caitlin Clark is going to be sidelined. She had come back. She's only gone 1 of 23 in the last 3 games from 3-point range. Indiana's at 7-7. They're playing the LA Sparks tonight in Indiana. The Sparks are only 4-5 on the season and have only covered 5 of their 16 games. They've lost 4 in a row. They've lost 8 of their last 10. But this Indiana team, which is favored by 4 or 5, Clark is out. Donner has just been released. Brittany Donner, and this Dantes is another player. They have 3 players out. I'll lay in 5.5. I don't think the Fever are going to be there. LA needs to come back strong. They lost by 11 points to Chicago, who's absolutely terrible. So the WNBA action, the free play today would be to play against Indiana, to play in the LA Sparks. And tonight, I have a power play winner in the WNBA with Las Vegas involved again against Washington. So log on, follow the buy links, become a big-time WNBA winner. I mean, this is the low. We can pick up games here and there during the season. You're not laying heavy prices. They're all $1.10. And, a winner's a winner. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. So log on, follow the buy links, get tonight's winner, Washington and the LA and Las Vegas Aces. So that's it for June 26th. In WNBA action, Chip Chirimbes says, hope to see you again tomorrow.